And yesterday we just had a broad introduction, because it is very important we develop that map in our mind. Only then we will be able to appreciate what follows. That is why I took a little time, rather than just spending 5 minutes and straight away getting into chapter 4. I thought it would make a lot of sense if we can position where this chapter is, vis-a-vis what is happening, what is our goals in life and so on. We just saw the first shloka. So I will just go to the shloka again so that we can continue to. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshva Kave Bravit. So, as I told you, there was some conversation going on in the 3 chapters. Arjuna expressed his difficulty to fight. Then Krishna started Ashochan Anvashochastum Prajnavadam Sabhashase Gatasun Agatasun Nanusochanti Panditaha. He started like that. Then of course in the 3rd chapter there was a question, you are confusing me. You said jnana is very important. You are also asking me to do work. Why are you confusing me? Arjuna started like that. First, this question 3 times he asked. The opening stanza in chapter 3, Arjuna was very tight. What do you he says, you decide. That is how he talked to Krishna. You decide, you seem to be confused. You decide and tell, properly think and tell me what it is. That's the question he asked. In the 5th chapter, again he asked, the opening verse, again asked, what is this sannyasa and what is this yoga? That time he toned down a little bit. The 18th chapter he asked, completely was mellowed down. So the tone of Arjuna itself changed from the 3rd chapter to 18th chapter. Kind of the same question. He asked what is Tyaga and Sannyasa in the 18th chapter. But the tone completely changed. Here in 3rd chapter he said, you make up your mind, you are confused. You are saying Sankhya, then he said, Karma Yoga, Karminam and Jnaninam, Sankhya Yoga, all that. But why is he changing the gear? Instead of continuing that conversation, suddenly he goes and says, I taught Vivaswan. Then Vivaswan taught it to Manu. And Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. So there is a sort of a discontinuity in the flow of thought. He should have ideally continued different aspects of yoga, which he didn't do. Suddenly got into something. And this finally ended by saying, I am Sakshat Narayana Avatara. The question is, why did he do it? So there are many possible ways to understand it, but I will tell only one, which I think makes until this shloka, and which ends up to Yada Yadahi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati, until that point, for Arjuna, Krishna was his cousin, Devaki Putraha. That's all. There was no other suggestion available to him. For Arjuna, it was his cousin. Whereas Krishna is going to tell him something very profound. See, when you have to communicate something very profound, you need a gravity. You need a level difference. Only when there is gravity, water flows. Same level, water will be stable. Slightest gravity, water will flow, no? Simple science. In the same way, the thoughts, if it has to flow, particularly a profound thought, he just started the introduction. If you have to communicate something very profound, first you have to raise yourself to a level so that sufficient gravity is available. Correct? That's why the word Upanishad Upanishad has three components: Upa, Ni and Shad. Upa plus Ni plus Shad becomes Upanishad. And there is a formula to attach all the three. In Sanskrit, what happens is Sanskrit is such a powerful language. Sanskrit came out of, in fact, there is a nice shloka which says, Nataraja Rajaha Nanada Dakkam Navapanchavaram. Nava plus Pancha, 14. This Nataraja just did his Dakka, no? Damara, in Sanskrit called Dakka. So, Nanada Dakkam Navapanchavaram. 9 plus 5, 14. He just did it 14 times, out of which actually came Maheswarani Sutrani. I Ivuna, Ruluch, Ye Om, I Ouch. Like that it goes. Up to, Hal, up to that it goes. Out of that 14 sounds only the great language Sanskrit came. Okay? In Sanskrit is the only language in the world. Unfortunately, Indians don't know it. Sanskrit is the only language in the world in which you need absolutely no assumption. Every word can be derived like a mathematical equation, unambiguously. Peter, we do not know how it came. John, we do not know how it came. But every one of your name I can derive now. This is the power of the language. And the way Sanskrit has come out is there are 2200 verbal roots, called as dhatu. It's a verbal root. Now, the entire language came only out of that. So, Upanishad, all these are coming because I am now talking about Upanishad. Upanishad has come from Upa, Ni and Shad. So, the way the language is manufactured, you take this verbal root. Then start attaching something on the left side and something on the right side. This is how the whole language is made. My name is Mahadevan. Okay? The manufacturing of this word is like this. First of all, Mahadevan is Mahanscha Asau Devascha Mahadeva. First you have to split Mahadeva into somebody who is great and somebody who is shining. Deva is means it comes from a Sanskrit root called Diyu. Diyu means to shine. So now you apply some formula to Diyu and make it Deva. Then there is something called Mahat. So you attach these two, Mahadeva comes. Like that, Upanishad. So what you can do is you can attach something at the front end. Upa is one such thing. Whenever you attach Upa, that means closer. That's why Upanayana. They do Upanayana, no? They are taking that boy closer to the God. Nayana is leading, taking. Neta. One who leads is called Neta. Nayanam is taking. The eye takes you to places. That's why it's called Nayanam. Without this you can't go. So Upa means closer. Okay? There is one Upasarga. It can be attached. Then Ni is another Upasarga. Then Shad. Shad comes from a dhatu called Shadrul. From that it comes. So Upanishad means that something which is, if I had to, put all of them together, it means somebody sitting at a higher pedestal and somebody sitting at a lower pedestal and the knowledge flows. This is one meaning. Without that, Atma Vidya cannot be taught. That's why Krishna, first thing he wanted to do after that initial things, he said, don't see me like your cousin. You will not get the teaching. There is no gravity. Only when you see credibility of the speaker, something will come. Otherwise, nothing will come. That's why those who do such things must be sadhakas also. Otherwise, there is no meaning. This is not like science or chemistry or physics or management. There you don't need any sadhana. Because you need that. Only then the message will potentially flow. So Krishna wanted to first create that before he proceeded any further. That is why he intentionally took him elsewhere. Suddenly he took him elsewhere. That is the first shloka, Visa. He said, no, I taught a million. Vivaswan was millions of years before. So this is what Krishna suddenly started in chapter 4. He said, no, I taught several janmas before to Vivaswan. So our friend is listening to it. He is going to ask a big question now. Because this is not going to make any sense for him now. So in the fourth shloka he is going to ask a question. But before that, Krishna said some more things. We will first see what he said. This is the first shloka which we saw yesterday. Go to the second shloka. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Now in the second shloka he says, Evam, in this fashion, parampara praptam, generation after generation after generation, this language is this message is going. Which message? Imam yogam maya proktam. Yogam avyayam. That is what he said in the first shloka. So this message of yoga, the tatparya behind yoga, okay, that he says, evam parampara praptam imam. Imam refers to imam yogam. That message called yoga, which he referred in the first shloka. That imam is referring to that. Okay? Rajarshiyoho viduhu. Vid is to know. The vid is the Sanskrit root, means to know. From where Veda came. So Veda is things that we ought to know. So vid is to know. So viduhu. Rajarshiyoho viduhu. The great Raja Rishis got this message. That is what the first line is saying. Evam, like this, parampara praptam. This particular great message which I taught to Vivaswan, Vivaswan taught to Manu, Manu taught to Ikshvaku, this particular message, generation after generation after generation, it went down, cascaded down, passed on from generation to generation by Raja Rishis. He uses the word Raja Rishi here. Rajarshiyoho viduhu. Then he says, Saha kalena. That visarga has gone lopa in sandhi. If you do a vicheda, visarga will come back. If you split it, it is saha, kalena, iha, mahata, yogaha. Yogaha in sandhi becomes yogo. So when you do pada vicheda, it becomes yogaha. When you join, the visarga becomes okara. Okay? So when you nashtaha, saha yogaha nashtaha. See, whenever we read any Sanskrit text, any Sanskrit shloka, the way to understand is find out where is the verb. You have to pull everything out of the verb. Sometimes verb is implicit. There is no verb here. Nashtaha bhavati, abhavat, something must be there. There is one verb which is missing, which we can, sometimes certain verbs need not be told. Mama deva, mama nama mahadevaha. Asti, I should use the word asti. But it is implicit, understood. Mama nama mahadevaha paryaptam. Asti iti na vaktavyam. Like that, the verb at the moment is not here, and some other shloka is over. Nashtaha abhavat. It got lost. Mahata nashtaha abhavat. See, what you should do when you read any shloka, every word will be connected to every other word in some way or the other. This is how you have to connect everything. So there is a word mahata, greatly. So that can be connected to nashta. So mahata nashtaha, greatly it got lost. And then iha, now it got lost. There is one iha also, right? Kalena mahata nashtaha. So I taught several years back. That was passed on generation after generation after generation by Raja Rishis. Iha, now, saha yogaha mahata nashtaha. That yoga is completely lost. This is what Krishna is telling. In fact, Shankaracharya in his commentary, I told you yesterday, he wrote some 10 wonderful lines before he started the commentary on Bhagavad Gita. He wrote some 10 lines. In that 10 lines, he said that, this yoga is all badly interpreted. This Bhagavad Gita is badly interpreted, wrongly interpreted. Such a wonderful knowledge has been wrongly interpreted. Now, in fact, Adi Shankara has never used the word aham anywhere. He is very conscious of ahankar. But one or two places only he used the word aham. In Gita Bhashya, he said, I have come here to sort it out. The word aham you will find in the first introduction. Very rarely he uses. He said, I have come here to sort it out because it has all got cluttered. There is something wrong that has completely happened. People have not understood it and so on. So in the same way, Krishna is saying here, Iha kalena mahata nashtaha he parantapa. Parantapa is the adjective for Arjuna. Parantapati. He scorches all his enemies. He burns them. See, Arjuna has got some beautiful adjectives in Bhagavad Gita. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. In 11th chapter, Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Savya sachin is an adjective for Arjuna, which means one who can fight with his left hand. He doesn't need a right hand. With left hand he can fight and chase his enemies. That is the meaning of savya sachin. Here he uses the word parantapa. Parantapati iti parantapaha. That's it. Arjuna. Hey Arjuna. So Krishna is saying, hey Arjuna, I taught. Several thousand years back I taught. That came generation after generation. But let me tell you now, all of them are mahata nashtaha jataha yogaha. That is what he says. Now Shankaracharya's commentary says, why did it become nashta? Mahata nashtaha katam abhavat. Why did it happen? For that Shankaracharya said, because the people to whom it was transmitted, it comes from generation to generation. Na? The people to whom it was transmitted, they were durbalan, ajitendriyan. That's what he says. Durbalan, ajitendriyan, prapya yogaha nashtaha. People who could not control jita indriya is one who has conquered his indriyas. Ajitendriya means one who did not know how to conquer his senses. So today, most of the society does not know how to conquer their senses. They have surrendered their entire senses to a few remote controls. We have come to that level now. Or you should have some sort of a japamala. All the time we have to keep doing like this. Some WhatsApp or SMS or something. Our life is controlled by these gadgets. One remote control, one japamala, handheld device. So ajitendriyaha, durbalaha. The strength of character lost. People did not know how to control their senses. When yoga was handed down to them, mahan nashtaha, mahata nashtena sarvam jatam. Everything got lost. That is what, Shankaracharya's commentary for that nashta. Why did nashta happen? Because the inappropriate people started handling yoga. Anyway, on a lighter vein, today, in fact, just in front of IIM, there is one shop in Bilekali Signal. In that shop, if you see, you have Zumba, yoga, aerobics. So yoga is now gone to that level now. Somebody has asked me what is yoga. At the end of the day, I will little bit tell. Yoga today means a certain dress. Yoga means a yoga mat. Yoga means, stretching your body in a very, very complicated fashion. Yoga means, trying to... something has happened to this. Anyway, yoga means some kind of body exercise. Yoga is today understood as a mechanism for handling your blood pressure and diabetic. Patanjali did not say any of these in his Yoga Sutra. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha is what he said. All these we have manufactured now. So that is what Mahata Nashtena, now also yoga is Nashta. That is what has happened. Yoga is not what we are thinking today. In yoga, in the Ashtanga Yoga, you have 5 of them which are Bahiranga Prayoga, and there are 5 which are Antaranga Prayoga. Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara and Asana. All these are Bahiranga Prayoga. How do you handle yourself from a outside world perspective? That is what the first 5 steps, and then Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi are Antaranga Prayoga. But that is not yoga that is understood today. So like that, in the same way, Krishna also says that for a long number of years, this has gone into incompetent people. Since it went to incompetent people, it did not sarvam nashtam abhavat. That is what he actually says. Just give me a minute. This computer shut down. So let me just. Now I have restarted it. It will come. It's come. So that is what he says. Now, what is interesting in this shloka is the word Rajarishi. Some of the words we don't even understand the meaning of it. I once spent some time on only this word, Rajarishi. Because Rajarishi is a very, very special word. We need to understand the meaning of it. Now again Adi Shankara in his commentary, he says, what is Rajarishi? He simply says, Raja plus Rishi is equal to Rajarishi. He uses a simple formula. But Sanskrit, the word is coined only like that. Rajanascha asau rishascha Rajarishi. So that formula will get you the same thing anyway what Shankaracharya said. Okay? So the concept of Rajarishi is extremely important. I want all of us to understand. There are two components here, right? There is one thing called Raja and the other thing called Rishi. So what Krishna means in this shloka is, if you have to do good to the society, if we have to really do good to the society, then you need two components. There is one Raja component and there is a Rishi component. In management we teach only the Raja component, we don't teach the Rishi component at all. Because this Raja component gives you the mandate, power for you. What is Raja? Raja has all the power and mandate. If he says, that is the end of it. He is the authority. So Raja gives the authority. It gives the power and the mandate. It is very important. If you want to discharge something good, whether it is for the society, for this trust, for this temple, in the family, in a small group, in a group of informal volunteers doing some work, everywhere you need leaders. And to deliver something very good, you need two things. What you need is the Raja component. The Raja component is power, mandate, authority, endowment of resources, entitlement for taking decisions. Everything is required. But a person who has a Raja component without another component called Rishi can be a disaster. Most of our leaders are like that today. That is the point. Now what is this Rishi component? That is the second question now. So some of the greatest king in this country, we don't talk about Janaka. If we have to inspire anybody in this country, we should talk about Janaka. Janaka was such a great king. Sita's father. If you read, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Abhayam vai praptosi Janaka. He was able to, discharge duties of a king with complete detachment, with enormous power. But there is no what is in it for me. He had no axe to grind. That is a Rishi component. The most shining Rishi in this country, I will not say Ashoka was a great king. I am not belittling Ashoka. Don't understand it like that. In my pecking order, it will be Janaka first. Ashoka, Kanishka and all will come later. They are Raja Rishis. They had the Raja component because they had the ultimate authority. They also had the Rishi component. That Rishi component actually brings what you call as spiritual quotient that is required. You cannot do good if you don't have spiritual quotient. You cannot do good. Without spirituality, it is impossible to do anything good anywhere. Whether it is family, whether it is a society, whether it is a company, you take anything. Without a spirituality quotient, great good things cannot be done. Please understand that. If we all think Abdul Kalam is one of the greatest Rashtrapati because his spiritual quotient was very high. Once he came, when he was a Rashtrapati, he came to IIM in Bangalore. And how do you understand spirituality? One important principle of spirituality is the leader will never belittle the other person. Whereas most of the leaders say, I have the power, I will discount your personality. I will make you feel little. A rishi, a person with the rishi component will make you feel what you are. He will give the intrinsic worth of what you are. That is a spirituality component. Today's leadership doesn't teach spirituality at all. It's all arrogance. It's all power, position. In family also it is like that. I am the eldest son, I will, go blasting. Because we have not been trained. So that is what Krishna is talking about. Rajanascha, Rishayascha, Rajarishihi. That person who had the endowment of power with him, who had entitlement of all resources, but in his heart he was very spiritual. In Raghuvamsa, Kalidasa's Raghuvamsa, in the first canto, Raghunam Anmayam Vakshaye, there is a beautiful 4-5 shlokas. Kalidasa says, what kind of a lineage are we talking about? Beautiful. You should go and read. The way they come in the world, how they disappear from the world. He says, Kalidasa says, these Raghu kings were Mitabashis. They don't talk too much. They are all Mitabashis. They don't talk too much. And when a child is born, nobody knows except, it silently comes. Kalidasa says, these great kings of Raghu exited the world exactly like that. They did not make any noise. The way they came, the way they went. They were all Rajarishis. That is what Krishna is talking about here. That's why he said, Evam parampara praptam Rajarishyoho viduhu. First line is okay. All Rajarishis understood it. Then Durbalan and Ajitendriyan, it went into the hands of people who are weak in character, who could not control their senses, and that is why yoga mahata nashtena parantapa. That is what Krishna is saying in this particular thing. So it is very easy to hold power. Holding power is not at all difficult. Moment you make the CEO, you can create a ruckus because there is nobody to ask anything to you. Moment you become the head of the family, you can do whatever you want to do with complete freedom. So it is easy to hold power, difficult to handle it properly. That is the real meaning of Rajarishi. Rajarishi is a concept which has to be taught in leadership, which has to be understood in families. Rajarishi is very, very important. For in Mahabharata, in Anushasana Parva, Moksha Dharma, these are all very important portions to be read in Mahabharata. Because after the war was over, everybody was finished. The 100 Kauravas, everybody was finished. But these 5 brothers were in the lowest of their mood. Because they have killed all their... This is what Arjuna wanted to avoid, no? But the Bhishma Pitamaha is still alive, seeing all that, lying in the bed of arrows. So there is a beautiful conversation. I have taken a couple of shlokas from there. There is a beautiful conversation between Yudhishthira, lot of administration, lot of what to do with power, how to handle. They went and asked the Bhishma Pitamaha. It's called Anushasana Parva. That part of Mahabharata we should read. Anushasana Parva. Gambhiryam, Bahu, Gambhiryena. Samvadaha. Great conversation between Bhishma and this Yudhishthira. So there this shloka is coming. What is this shloka saying? He is saying there are 3 types of mada people has. Bhishma is telling to Yudhishthira. Vidya mado dana madaha tritiyo abhignano madaha yete mada aviliptanam esha eva satam damaha. He says there are 3 types of mada. Mada means inebriated state, no control. See, elephant gets mada, then you cannot control it. Right? It's called mada. In Sanskrit, the opposite of mada is just reverse the word mada into dama. That's how Sanskrit is made. Ma da, if you make it da ma, that is exactly the opposite meaning of mada. That's how the Sanskrit word is. So what it is saying is there are 3 types of mada: ahankara and conceit. What is it? Vidya mada. I know. I am a very learned person. I am seeing, with very little knowledge, people actually think they know everything. They make so much noise. And they belittle people. As they don't know, they dismiss them off. Tell them, chup. No, shut up. That is called Vidya Mada. That's the first Mada he is talking about. Then Dana Mada. People when they give, they think they are the proxy of Kubera. They are giving 1 rupee, 50 paise. For giving 50 paise, they think as though they are Kubera. So much of ahankar goes into their head, they throw it. They don't come every day, as though he is writing his property off of his property. Because tomorrow he comes, he has to write the balance property. Like that they shout at after all, God has been kind of, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that if a beggar comes in front of your house, please understand God, that's why they use the word Daridra Narayana. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda used the word Daridra Narayana. He said, Narayana has come, Narayana has given you a great opportunity to give, to help. This opportunity was given to you. Be thankful to the Lord. But people don't think like that. They think as though they have suddenly become Kubera. So that is called Dana Mada. Lot of people have this problem. Then Abhijnana Mada. So I have come from a great family. I am a very well-known person. My pedigree is great. I am an IIT, IIM product. Because that is what I see very often in my category of people. It's called Abhijnana Mada. Then the next line says, Ete madaha. This is actually mada for whom? Aviliptanam. People who are immature and those people who have not arrived in their life. They are all immature people, childish people. For them, all these three are really mada. Then finally he says, what he says, Ete eva satam. Sat purushanam etat sarvam become damaha, not mada. Vidya, dhanam, abhijnana will make him more and more humble. This is what Yudhishthira is telling to, Bhishma is telling to Yudhishthira, understand, you have to be like that. Don't develop this ahankar in you, you will become a poor leader, you will never be a great king. Understand, if you are a very cultured person, sat janaha, satam, for those who are highly cultured, this becomes not mada, it becomes dhamma, which means the more and more they do like this, they become more and more humble in life. The more and more they read, they become more humble. The more and more they give, humility increases by orders of magnitude. You have to see to believe it. The more and more you come from a great family, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Vijayate. In the next chapter, sixth chapter, he is saying, such people feel humble. He says, understand the difference between these two. That is the quality which will bring a Rajarishi. There is another sloka which I really liked. Because we have talked about all the signs of bad handling of power. Very lowly behavior towards others, holding no. I have seen it in 90% leaders are like this. The moment you become a CEO, your job is to, don't even ask people to sit and talk. Make them stand for 1 hour, 2 hours, as though he knows everything, shout at them. This is the leadership we have practiced, this is the leadership we have taught. That's not leadership. Krishna is talking at a very different plane, Mahabharata is talking at a very different plane. People who come into contact feel loss of dignity, loss of self-respect. That is not leadership. That is, you are very low. That's why you are making others feel low. If you can make, moment somebody comes and see you, if they feel good about themselves, you are a great leader. You can be a Rajarishi and power is with you. This is the Rishi component and there is a Raja component. You can do great good for a larger cause. That's what that word Rajarishi actually means. This is another beautiful shloka. I was in Iran for 6 weeks. 2006 I went to Iran. This shloka aptly captures Iran, not India. Look at this shloka, it's a beautiful shloka. It says, Striyascha apurushaha marge sarvalankara bhushitaha nirbhayaha pratipadyante yada rakshati bhumipaha. It's a very easy shloka. What it says is, ladies are completely, fully decorated. Sarvalankara bhushitaha striyaha apurushaha, without a male accompanying them. Okay? Nirbhayaha pratipadyante. They are able to freely go and come without any fear. Today it has become a big problem. Another Nirbhaya incident happened day before yesterday. That's a different Nirbhaya. In Chhattisgarh, Ranchi it happened. Here he is saying, Rakshati Bhumipaha. The one, Bhumipa is a king. He says a king is one who is able to do an administration in such a way that ladies without any fear can freely move about in the country. Simple definition for a great administration. I saw it in Iran. Night 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, ladies drive the car. I was stunned by everything I saw in Iran. Because our Vedic thing started from there actually. If you go into the house, there is a tap. You have to wash your legs only, then you can go into the house. Even after washing your legs, you can go into the house, you cannot get into the kitchen. There is another tap in front of the kitchen. You have to wash your hands and legs once again and get. That is culture. They have learned. They are highly cultured. 6 weeks I was in Iran. All these I saw in Iran actually. 6 weeks I saw this happening all the time. Okay? So he says that is called Raja Dharma. And such Rajas have a lot of Rishi component. That's why they are able to make it happen. The word Raja, every word I told you in Sanskrit can be manufactured. You know why he is called Raja? Rajate, Virajate iti Raja. Rajat means silver. Raja and Rajat have something common. That is, to Raj is to shine. That's the Sanskrit root from which it came. Who is the Raja? The person who shines. Shines by what? Not with dress, with his quality of administration. Virajate, Rajate iti Raja. That is the definition for Raja. So every word in Sanskrit is manufactured with full of meaning. So that Raja Rishi is what Krishna is talking about. He said, such Raja Rishis understood my yoga, which I taught millions of years before. Kalena mahata nashtaha parantapa sarvam nashtam abhavat. Why? Because, Durbalan, Ajitendriyan, such kind of people started learning yoga, everything got lost. That is what he is saying in this second shloka. We'll move on. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime saka cheti rahasyam hetad uttamam. Maya, see here the verb is prokta. It was told. You have to only catch a verb. If you catch a verb, you will understand the shloka. Here the verb is prokta. Was told. Then, you know why verb is required? Sanskrit is constructed like that. Moment you say went, you can ask 1,000 questions. Where did he go? Who went? How did he go? With whom did he go? Did he go fast or slow? All these questions we can ask, no? All those will be the remaining part of the shloka. That's why you should always catch a verb. If you have learned Sanskrit shloka and understand the meaning, just catch the verb. So I will demonstrate it to you. Prokta. Then I'll ask, who said? Who said? It was told. Then my question is, by whom? Maya prokta. It was told by me. There is one word, Maya. So now I have attached one more to that. Maya prokta. When did you say? Adya Maya prokta. Te adya. There is, you have te and adya there. So when did you say? Now. Adya means now or today or whatever. It is present now. That's the meaning. Adya Maya prokta. Okay? What did you say? You can ask. Then there is I am. It is pointing to something. Because the conversation is about yoga, no? So what did you say? It is saying, I actually told yoga. That's what he is saying. Okay? He said, I am. To whom did you say? That's the next question we can ask. To whom did you say? Te, to you. Te is to you. Okay? Why did you say? You can even ask that. Why did you te? Why did you say? Then the second line says, because you are my friend and you are my bhakta. Bhaktesi maya bhaktaha asi sakacha iti. You are also my friend, you are also my bhakta. So from prokta I have got everything now. These are Sanskrit shlokas can be easily understood. Right? Then what is this yoga? Puratanaha. There is one word puratanaha. That is an adjective for yoga. So the question is told. Then I ask by whom? By me. To whom did you say? To you. What did you say? Yoga. When did you say? Now. What is this yoga? Puratana. It's a very old idea. Everything has come. Why did you tell me? Because you are my friend and you are my bhakta. Sloka is only that much. This is the way to actually understand shloka. Now, I am not going to demonstrate it again and again, but I wanted to show you, you can easily self-study and understand the meaning.
Unfortunately, we are not part of Sanskrit.
So, not required. You just take the verb. Moment you take the verb, it is like pulling the rat with the tail. You take the verb, everything will fall in place. This way, if you learn Sanskrit also faster. This is the way to learn Sanskrit also faster. You will learn. Nobody needs to teach you. Easily you can learn. Anyway, so he says, and what is this yoga? He said Puratana is one adjective, Rahasyam is another adjective. Uttamam is another adjective. These are all adjectives now. These are all qualifying the yoga. He says, so what is he saying? I told, this yoga was told by me to you. This yoga is very profound. It is very Puratana. I told you because you are my friend and you are my bhakta. That is all. This shloka is only that much. But there is a Vaisishtya in this shloka. There is a Visesha in this shloka. And what is that Visesha? Bhakta and Saka. That is the greatest part of this shloka. So the question is, who is the Bhakta? That's a question that comes. Who is a Bhakta and who is a friend? In chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, after Vishwarupa Darshana, after Krishna showed Vishwarupa Darshana, there are 2-3 shlokas in which Arjuna says, please pardon me. I did so many things to you. I did not know you are Sakshat Vishnu. There are 3 shlokas, some 35, 36, 37, there are some shlokas. He says, I told things in a very discourteous way to you. I did things which should not have been done like that. Please bear with me. At that time he told. But then, if you read Mahabharata, Krishna and Arjuna were so friendly. In fact, Arjuna was putting his leg on Krishna, sitting like that. When Satyabhama is there, Arjuna was putting his leg on Krishna, on him, like that. Friendly when people, young children, like that. All those I went and read when I read that particular shloka. That is a Saka. So the question is, who is this Saka and who is this Bhakta? Now this Bhakta and Saka are intertwined into a single character called Sudama. In Bhagavata, in Dashamaskanda, it will be a hair-raising experience if there are 2 chapters, chapter 80 and chapter 81. Today I went into that chapter. I just took that chapter. Because what is this Bhakta and what is this friend? Both are weaved into one character. So I'll get you 3 shlokas from there to show you how electrifying that experience was when Sudama came to meet Krishna. It's an amazing chapter to read. There are about 38 shlokas in the 81st chapter, but I think about 50 shlokas in the 80th. But it was stunning. I quickly read the 100 shlokas, but I picked up 3 shlokas which I thought I should share with you, because that is a Saka and a friend. Look at what this is saying. We'll look at the first shloka. It says, Krishnasyasit Saka Kaschit Brahmano Brahmavittamah Viraktaha Indriyarteshu Prashantatma Jitendriyaha. Actually, Rukmini and Krishna were sitting. This man is coming. He is meeting him after so many years. They were together in the, Sandipani Ashrama. After that they are meeting. And why are they meeting? Because Sudama's wife said, no food here, nothing. I am struggling for every day eating. Children I am not able to feed. Your friend is a great king. Why don't you go and meet him? He did not listen to that for quite some time. But the reality of Grihastha is there for everyone. So one day he said, let me go and see. He took that beaten rice in a small torn cloth. All those are described so beautifully when you read it. So as he came, this is 6th shloka. As he came, Rukmini was sitting there, and here is the first description of Sudama. What is he? Krishnasya asit Saka. He was the friend of Krishna. Now the question is, who can be the friend of Krishna? These are all coming in the remaining parts of this shloka. Kaschit asit. There was one person who was the friend of Krishna. Kaschit Krishnasya Saka asit. He was a Brahmana. That is just his tag to just attach something to him. Then you see, Brahmavittamah. He was in the know of Brahman. He knew what Brahman is. Not by theory, not by reading books and memorizing. Anubhuti. Brahmavittamah. One who knew Brahman. The Sudama was an extraordinary character. And then Viraktaha. In what? Indriyarteshu. Indriyas is, eye, ear, these are all Indriyas. Artha means material. So what is the material for this? The material for eye is the world of sight. The material for the tongue is the world of taste. The material for the ear is the world of sound. Indriyarteshu viraktaha. He is a jitendriya now. He has conquered his senses. Indriyarteshu viraktaha. He is not worried about all these sense objects. We are all today so much bothered. Somebody told something about me. Whole day I am upset. Actually, he should be upset. I don't know why I am upset. If I am not that, I should not be upset. He told something wrong, he should be upset. But the Rajik is ulta here. You tell something wrong about me which I am not, and I get upset. This is the plane we are operating. If you objectively think we should not be upset, he should be upset, not me. But that is how we spend. He is not like that. Indriyarteshu viraktaha. Prashanta Atma. That is why he is Prashanta. He is in a sense of Prashanti. Jitendriya. These are the descriptions. So if somebody has to be the friend of the Lord, you need all these. Arjuna was perhaps like that. That's why he said, Bhaktosi sakacheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. I will tell you. Then the next line, just see what it is saying. Next sloka. It says, Yadrichayopapannena vartamano grihashrami tasya bharya kuchailasya kshukshama cha tatha vidha. This is pathetic to read. It says, Yadrichaya upapanna. What comes Yadrichaya? They were not going after anything. We waste a lot of time going after things and getting disappointed and then getting into depression, getting into disappointment, getting into sadness. This is how we spend a lot of our time in life. He says, Yadrichaya upapanna. By stroke of what God gave at every point in time, they were leading a life like that. It's very hard to lead a life. It's all nice to talk. It's not easy to do that. Yadrichaya upapanna. Vartamanaha grihashrami. He is in grihashrama. But this is how they lived. They did get agitated. Today the youngsters, the modern education have made them very agitated because they have lost their faith on God. You will get agitated only when you say, I have to solve all my problem. There is nobody else to solve the problem in the world. The moment you say there is a Lord who will solve my problem, you have taken the weight out of your head and put it down. We have not understood that because modern education is telling something reverse. They say you have to solve every problem. You have to take charge. What charge you can take? You cannot even cross this road. Bhagavanta anugraha illa andre ನೀವು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗೋಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. There can be an accident also. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ರೋಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Without Bhagavanta anugraha, you cannot even cross the road. You take a bus, you want to catch 364G. 100 things can happen before you go there. The bus will go, bus will not stop. You reached in time, bus will not stop because the bus driver thought something else. So you waited for half an hour, the bus went. Nothing is in our control, but we think everything is in our control. That is how we are leading the life. We have to learn from this 2-year-old child, 1 year, 2-year-old child. The 2-year-old child knows my parents will take care of me. That's why it will run up and down. Your party and all is gone. You will run behind the child. Because the child has left the responsibility on the parents. Our parents are there. We should learn how to leave the responsibility to them and get on with work. They were like that. They were like that. Yadrichaya upapannaha vartamano grihashrami tasya bharya. What was the situation of her wife? Kuchailasya tasya bharya kshukshama. Her dress was very scanty and torn. What minimum she needs to protect her modesty is how she was living like that. Still they did not have any distress in their life. Kshukshama. That's all. Yatha vida. That's how they were living, the children were living. They never felt These are all the descriptions in that chapter. There are some more I just took. Then when he came, is 19 sloka. Krishna got up, and when he took an alingana of him, I believe Krishna, the water started pouring profusely from his eyes, and he was in a state of. He said, "I am such a blessed to have a friend like this." Krishna is Paramatma is saying like that. That is the Bhakta and Saka put together. So look at the sloka. It says, Sakyuhu Priyasya Viprashe Anga Sanga Sangati Nirvritaha. Moment he touched him, Angasya Sangaha about it. Which means, friend, he just did like that. He got Nivritti. Who? Krishna. Not Sudama. Krishna got Nivritti. A Bhakta is more powerful than the Lord. The stone is much more powerful than sun. Because you can't walk on a sunny day on the stone. It will scorch you. The stone is more powerful than the sun. The Bhakta is more powerful than the Lord. He says, Anga Sangati Nivrtaha. For a moment Krishna attained Nivritti. I am not able to imagine this state. Roma Harshanam Bhavati. I cannot imagine this state. He does an alingana of Sudama, and for a moment he got into Nivritti. And then next line. Prito Vyamuncha Bindun. Out of Preeti, Bindun means drops, no? Right? Netrabhyam. Pushkarekshanaha. From the eyes of this lotus-eyed Lord, water started rolling down. I am not able to imagine it. Something is happening to me even now when I am saying this. I am not able to imagine what can be the power of a Bhakta and a friend. He says, moment I touched him, I got Nivritti, and the tears started rolling profusely from my eyes. That is the Lakshana of a Bhakta and Saka. If you read those two chapters, you will get more. Because then I will end up 3 days only talking these two chapters, which was not my intended purpose now. I want to touch this and go. You don't have to go this far. Go to Bhakti Yoga. Bhakta me ativa priya, 6 shlokas are there. Adveshta, Sarvabhutana, Maitra Karuna Evacha. It starts from that shloka. There are 8 shlokas in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita where the Lakshana of who is very, very dear to me has been already laid there. Aniketaha, everything is there. Advijeta, Lokaha, Loka Advijeta, Harsha, Marsha, all those are there. I am not going to get into it. All these shlokas are there in chapter 12. He has given already the definition here. Who is very close to me? Arjuna qualified perhaps for all of that. That is why he says, I want to tell you, this is a great rahasya. You are my Bhakta, you are my Saka. So we need to only become a Bhakta and Saka of the Lord. The Lord can be, Lord is omnipresent. We have to become the Bhakta and the Saka. Everything will be taken care of. And for that Bhakta and Saka, the correct message will come at the correct time. A true Bhakta and Saka will stop asking, how can I solve my problem? That question will go. In Vaishnava Sampradaya, this is called Prapatti. Surrender. Sir, I am telling you, my dear friends, I am telling you, there are only 2 pillars with which we can lead a life in this world. One pillar is called Sharanagata Bhava. Second pillar is called Prasada Buddhi. Without that, we cannot lead this life. We have to put our best foot forward, but surrender that to the Lord. Surrender means does not say, Lord will take care, I will just sit and relax, watch the TV, Lord will come and knock the door. It doesn't mean like that. Which means, Prayojanam Anudishya Karya. Please do it. Kartavyam iti yat karyam karaniyam kurvantu. This has to be done, we will do it. Lord is there. Then whatever comes, take it. Prasada is a great word in this culture. A white powder is called prasada. A book is called prasada. A child is called prasada. A guru is a prasada. Something they give at the end of this session is also prasada. That prasada buddhi, to remind us only it is all being done. Every moment what is happening, you cannot even find an answer for it. Don't waste your time. Don't try to find out why did it happen, I put my best foot forward. These are all ways to waste our time in life. Everything happens with folded hands, take it. That's called prasada buddhi. If we develop that prasada buddhi and sharanagata bhava, we will become Saka and Bhakta. The yoga will come to us. Krishna will come in many ways to us and give us that prasada buddhi and give us that prasada also. So that is what this shloka is saying. That is what Krishna is saying in this shloka. That you are my friend, you are my Saka, you are my Bhakta. I will tell you the proper. If you are the true Bhaktas of the Lord, and if we become so Saka to the Lord will take care of us. At an appropriate time the message will come. We don't have to worry. Keep doing things. The Lord will bless us. That Manobhava what Krishna wants us to know. Through this shloka and Arjuna, he is telling us that. Now after this Arjuna got confused. What is all this you are saying? I thought you are my cousin. Suddenly you are telling something which I don't even understand. That's the next sloka. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katam etat vijaniyam tomadau proktavan iti. He says, aparam bhavato janma. You were born about 10-20 years back here. You are 5 years elder to me. Devaki putra. He is Devaki's putra. Arjuna's cousin. Devaki is Arjuna's atta. So he must be 4-5 years elder to him. So aparam bhavato janma. Param janma vivasvata. Vivaswan was born. The origin of the universe started with sun. In Puranas, yesterday I talked about the Panchalakshanas of Purana, in which origin of universe is compulsorily discussed in all the 18 Mahapuranas. You go and read it, you will find sun is the first required. Today science also says that. There was an article in 1923 National Geography magazine. You know what that article said? The article said, we all eat sun, we wear sun, we breathe sun. He says, without sun, nothing in this world. Your polyester, your plastic, your metal, your light that is glowing through electricity, everything comes through sun only. So the origin of the universe is sun. So he says, Param Janma Vivasvataha. Sun was born millions of years back. You were born about 4-5 years back, elder to me. Katham etat vijaniyam. How do I understand this? Understand what? Tvam ado proktavan. At the beginning you said, I think you are bluffing. You are very smart. Krishna is always smart. What are you telling? You are my cousin. And suddenly all of a sudden, you are properly telling me some yoga and all that up to chapter 3. Suddenly you are now changing gears and confusing me. And you are telling, you told Vivaswan, come on, what are you talking about? That is what Arjuna is asking in this. So that is his question. Where from this is coming? Param janma vivasvataha aparam bhavato janma katam etat vijaniyam tvam adau proktavan iti. How do I know you told at the beginning? You please explain. So this is what Arjuna asked. Please understand, Arjuna was never lying low. See, there are a lot of misconceptions about ancient Indian wisdom. You should not ask questions. We are told like that. No, out of respect you should not. Every Upanishad you will find, there is one Upanishad called Prashna Upanishad. One Upanishad is titled called Prashna Upanishad. 6 questions. Kabanda, Katyayana, all these people, 5-6 of them go to the Rishi. Question goes from high, simple question to very complicated question. 6 questions are asked, 6 answers are given. Great truth is. In fact, there is another Upanishad called Kena Upanishad. It starts with a question only. Kenetam preshitam manaha. He says, where is this mind coming from, where is it going? In this chapter we are going to see Tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. We are going to see that shloka. It is not questioning, it is a deep sense of inquiry. Arjuna had a deep sense of inquiry. So he was not lying low. There were a lot of questions he asked. So here he is asking question, please tell me, I don't understand. What is going on here? I thought you are my cousin, but you are telling me something which I don't understand. Out of this came the avatar Mahima. Krishna set a mousetrap. Krishna wanted Arjuna to exactly ask this question. That is why he did it. Krishna wanted Arjuna to ask this question. No, you are illogical, because he wants to raise him to another level. This discussion is not enough. Chapter 2, 3, Bhagavad Gita is fine. I have now taken you to a greatest truth that you should know. Therefore, he set up this question and Arjuna asked the question. What is this? I don't understand. Krishna said, okay, I will explain now. I will tell you what it is. That's what he went further, leading up to Avatara. He revealed, I am Avatara. Sakshat Vishnu Avatara. That he revealed beautifully. Very famous shloka, everybody knows because it is Mahabharata title song for Mahabharata. So whole of India knows that shloka. Anyway, we will see that. But he goes with a few shlokas towards that. So Krishna started revealing that he is Avatara Purusha. That was his intention. The greatest teachings that he is going to give will enter into the minds of Arjuna only when he raises himself to such a high pedestal. Krishna must reach that pedestal, only then the teaching will go. Otherwise he will take it very lightly. That's why he started revealing that I am Avatara Purusha. And how did he do? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tavacharjuna Tanyaham veda sarvani Natvam veta parantapa. Hey Parantapa, you know what has happened? Bahuni me vyatitani. Vya atitani. Vya is a upasarga. Atita is over, ended. It has happened. So vyatitani is, it has happened a lot. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani. My janma several has happened. See, another trick I want to tell you how to understand Sanskrit shlokas. You know, in Sanskrit there is a fundamental rule. If you know the rule, Sanskrit is simple. Until you don't know the rule, it is complex. The rule is, anything that you say in Sanskrit, and if you use an adjective, it's called Visheshana Pada. Adjective. If you say adjective, for example, you say Mahadevaha, then you put some adjective to that. Then the adjective that you use must exactly match in terms of linga. Pullinga, Strilinga, Napumsalinga, gender, then number, singular, plural, dual, third case, first case, second case, third case. So one way to understand is collect all those similar things, they all must be similar. Look at here, there are, there is something called Bahuni, there is something called Vyatitani, there is something called Janmani. All the three must be together. Because they are all plural. Right? They are all Napumsalinga plural actually. So all the three must be together now. So you can now slice all of them into one block now. So Bahuni, several, Janmani, Vyatitani. All these are connected to one another. That's why they are all related to one another. This is another way to simplify your understanding of Sanskrit. So Bahuni me Vyatitani Janmani Tava Cha Arjuna. Even yours, you have gone through several Janmas. I have gone through several Janmas. You also have gone through several Janmas. That is what the first line is saying. It is saying Bahuni me Vyatitani Janmani Tava Cha Arjuna. Yours also. The cha is also Tava Cha Arjuna. Tava Cha Arjuna. Savarna Dirga. Cha, A plus A becomes A. You know, that's what is Cha Arjuna. That's why it is saying Tava Cha Arjuna. Okay? Tanyaham Veda. Tani. So there is again Tani. So the Tani now refers to Janmani. That's why they are connected. When you say Tani, it refers exactly to that. Because these is also in plural. Napumsaka plural. So it connects to that. Tani means those Janmas. Aham Veda, I know, but you don't know. So that is what Krishna is saying. Tani Aham Veda. Tani Sarvani. So Sarvani is also related to all that Janma related details I know. Tani Sarvani Aham Veda. Natvam Veda. You don't know. You don't know. I know, but you don't know. Now he is already telling you are an Alpagya, I am a Sarvagya. So what is the difference between Jivan and Jivatma and Paramatma? Difference is Jivatma is Alpagya. Noble laureate is also Alpagya only. Whereas the Paramatma is Brahma, Sarvajna. Brahma Lakshanam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam. That's what it says in Taittiriyopanishad. Taittiriyopanishad, Brahmavita apnoti param. Brahmavit apnoti param. One who knows Brahman will get everything. That is a Vakya. The entire chapter teaching is only in this one sentence. The second chapter of Taittiriyopanishad, the entire teaching is available in just one sentence. What is that? Brahmavit apnoti param. Nobody will understand it. So there are 12 stanzas to explain this one line. Tadesha, tat yeshaha abhyuktaha. Now I am explaining it in some detail. The whole chapter goes like that. Brahma Lakshanam. Then first Lakshana is told. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. What is Brahma? Brahma is nothing but Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam. That Jnanam. He is called Sarvajna. Whereas they are all Alpajnas. That's why we don't know what happened in the last Janma. We may not know what will happen in this Janma also. Time it is now 7:54. We may not know what will happen in 7:55. Our knowledge is only that much. We are all Alpajnas. He is a Sarvajna. That's why he says, I know, you do not know. That's what he is saying. Bahuni me vititani janmani tavacharjuna. Tani aham veda sarvani nattum veda parantapa. So slowly he is telling him, you don't look at me like you. I am somebody else. I will tell you who I am, but slowly I will bring the concept to you. Certain things which I know, you do not know. But the first shloka in this Gita, Upadesha, the first shloka is Ashochan Anvashochastvam Prajnavadam Sabhashase Gatasun Agatasum Sananusochanti Panditaha. You are jumping up and down, you don't know what is happening. Ashochan Anvashochastvam. People who don't know things should not worry, because the worry comes out of ignorance. Ashochan, what should not be worried? Should not be worried. You are worrying for things which you should not be worrying at all. Ashochan Anvashochastvam. Prajnavadam Sabhashate. You talk as though you know everything. That's how he started. In 11th shloka, 12th shloka in chapter 2, where Gita Upadesha started, this is the first shloka. Ashochan Anvashochastvam Prajnavadam Sabhashate. Gatasun, those who have gone. Agatasun, who are going to come several janmas later. Nobody, the wise man does not worry about coming and going is a fact of life. From home we have to go to tomb. In between we will spend some time. From the mother's home we have to go to the tomb. Cradle to grave. If you don't like home to tomb, cradle to grave. Because somebody asked, what is this Janma? How do you define Janma? I said, Janma, Vyadi, Jara, Marana. Simple. How do you define one Janma? You get birth, you get Vyadi, you become old, you go away one day. That's why Krishna says, don't worry about all that. Wise people don't worry about that. They know that these are all, in chapter 2 also he says, Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya, navani grunati naroparani. Just like this shirt is become old, I'll just throw it and wear another shirt. So the soul is doing only like that. Don't attach too much to all these. Because he is a Sarvajna. That's why he is able to say all that. So he started telling Arjuna, you don't know a few things I know. So many janmas have happened which you don't know. So that's how he brings that message. Then Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swamadishtaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. Then he says, I will tell you how this whole world of beings came, which I know, which you do not know. So that's where he is getting into. He says, Ajaha. Ajaha is one who will not take birth at all. Jaya is Janma. Ajaha is one who will not take this birth and death. That is Ishvara. Ajaha Pisan, although technically I don't get into the cycle of birth and death, because I am Sakshat Vishnu. Ajaha Pisan, Avyayaha. I am also, my Atma is Avyaya. I am indestructible. I am indivisible. Why? Because Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. Because there was one great, this philosophical lady in Tamil lore called Avvaya. So Avvayar went to she is a great Ganesha Bhakta. When she was about to be married, she made a great prayer she didn't want to get married because she was highly philosophical. So she made a prayer to Lord Ganesha, she became old, finished. She had that power. Avvayar was such a great. So that Avvayar went to a temple. Apparently, this is a story to tell Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. Avvayar went to a temple. He was sitting, old lady. She was sitting with her leg stretched in the Ishvara temple. So Parvati and Parameshwara were going. So Parvati said, look at this lady. How dare she is stretching the leg in front of the Devasthana, the Murti is there. I think she should be told, not like this. Parameshwara said, I think better you not do all this. No, this is not proper. So she comes down and then Parvati says, what is this? You are actually stretching your leg towards the God. Then Avvayar asked, show me a direction where God is not there, I will stretch my leg there. It's a profound idea. Show me where the Lord is not there, I will stretch that side. So Parvati went away. This is a story. The point is, Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. Abhyayatma. Vyaya is not there, it is Abhyayatma. So he says, Ajopisan Abhyayatma, Bhutanam Ishvara. I am the Lord of the Bhutas. I am the creator and the Lord of the entire universe. Bhutanam Ishvara. I am the Ishvara of the Bhuta. Even when I am like that, although I am like that, then he says, Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya, I latched on to Prakriti. This is a very deep philosophical concept. In chapter 13, in great detail, we can see it. So I am not going to spend too much, but I will quickly give you some idea. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya, moment I got into Prakriti, Sambhavami, Atma Mayaya. I use the Maya Shakti. And then I become ignorant. I become to behave as though I am ignorant. I become to behave as though I am ignorant. That comes through the Maya Shakti. In fact, in that same Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a beautiful shloka. There is one stanza. He says, Soka Mayata. Suddenly this desire came to the God. The world was not there. There was nothing. Everything was Lord. Soka Mayata. Suddenly the Lord had a desire. What was the desire? Bahusyam Prajayeti. Let me create the world of multiplicity. The Lord thought one day. Bahusyam Prajayeti Satapo Tapyata Satapas Taptva Idagum Sarvam Asrijata. He got into deep tapas. Out of that tapas, he created the whole universe. Then what did he do? Sloka goes further. Idagum sarvam asrijata. Then he said, Tadeva anupravishat. Tadeva anupravishat. He entered into all of them. The God particle is in all of us. The God particle is in this table. The God particle is there in this mic also. Tadevanupravishat. Tadanupravishya, having entered into it, Satchatyacha bhavati. He became Satya, Asatya, this, that, positive, negative, plus, minus, everything he became. It's so beautifully described in Taittiriya Upanishad. That's what he is saying here. He is saying, I am the Lord. Why am I am the Lord of the Bhutas? Because I am the creator. I one day decided, let this world be created. I was alone. One day I thought, it is all Leela Vinoda. Let me create the world. So like that he created the world. So Krishna says, I am the one who created. So Arjuna is getting more and more inquisitive now. What is going on? This Arjuna thinks no longer Krishna is our cousin. That mind, the doubt has come in his mind already because he is telling things which he is not accustomed to. And the pinnacle of all that is Vishwarupa Darshana. He takes him up to Bhakti Yoga, Raja Bhakti, Raja Marga Yoga, then Vibhuti and then Vishwarupa. There he actually showed him. Look at here. I mean, if you read Gita like that, it will take you to the height of ecstasy in Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter. It will go like that. It will build and it will take you to the heights of ecstasy. You will have an anubhava of this whole idea. So he does Vishwarupa Darshana and all that. So that's what he says here. Having said this, then he revealed the secret to him finally. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tada atmanam srijamyaham. So he said, do you know why I came here? This is Avatara Mahima. Why is the Lord coming as taking Avatara and coming? He wanted to give him that answer. So he said, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati. When dharma reaches its lowest level, dharmasya glanihi bhavati. The world order is changing, deteriorating. Hey Bharata, this is again an adjective for Arjuna. Hey Bharata, I am telling you, whenever the dharma is getting disturbed, yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati, Abhyuttanam. Ut means to take up. The word ut means to take up, lift. So abhyuttanam. Ab is, to add emphasis to the point. There are words like he. See, na is enough. You can say nahi. Na is enough. Nahi, when you say, it only gives a little more emphasis. Here also he has used he. Yada yada he. That he is used only to emphasize. It only accentuates the idea. It makes it even more stronger. When you do anushtup, so many letters are required. That's why sometimes these are also used, but it also serves the purpose of emphasizing. So, yada yada dharmasya, yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati. Indeed, when dharma is getting disturbed, abhyuttanam adharmasya. When the adharma is lifting up, popping its head up, when the adharma is showing his head, abhyuttanam adharmasya, adharmasya abhyuttanam abhavat. It came up. People, became very disorderly. The dharma was vitiated. Right? Tada, at that time, atmanam srijamyaham, I will come. He says, I will come. I don't come just like that. I will come. When dharma is disturbed, I will not keep quiet. That's what he did in this Avatara Mahima, is Kamsa Vada, Sishupala Vada, and the Vada of the 100 Kauravas are all Avatara Mahima. He came only to establish order. So he told Arjuna, when dharma gets deteriorated, when adharma pops up its head, I will come. This is the Avatara Mahima. Finally he revealed it to him, that don't look at me as your cousin. And why am I coming? It continues in the second sloka. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Again I will come. Yuge yuge sambhavami. This is not a one-time event. I am giving you. When things go out of hand, I will come. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Again and again I will come. Why? Paritranaya. To protect. Tra is to protect. The Sanskrit root tra means protect. Kshatriya comes from that only. Tra means to protect. Paritranaya. In order to protect this entire ecosystem. Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhujananam rakshanam mama kartavyam. Good people has to be kept. Today Indian government runs because there are a lot of good people, I am telling you. While papers write all the time about corruption, there are a good number of good people in government service, I have seen personally. Don't go by these newspaper reports. Newspaper is interested in writing only when a man bites a dog, not when a dog bites a man. They want some nutana, some novelty. This entire media has gone mad. It has become madia, not media. It has become like that. Lots of good people are there in the government. Government survives because of that. Go to the villages and see. Even in the big cities you go and see. So he says, Sadhu Jananam Rakshanam. Right? He says, Dushta Jananam Nivaranam, Sishta Jananam Rakshanam. That is the Lord's job. So he says, Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. I will clean up the entire mess. Mercilessly I will kill. Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. And why am I doing all that? Dharma Samstapana. I want to re-establish Dharma again. Dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami. I will come. Yuge yuge. Again and again I will come. Today is one instance you are seeing. Like that he told Arjuna. Now these two shlokas, that 1.5 hours we can only talk these two shlokas. Which I am not going to do because otherwise we will not end up finishing chapter 4. It's a very beautiful shloka. These two shlokas, there are a lot of good artha. There is a lot of tatparya in these two shlokas. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati. Because there is a word dharma. First we need to know what is dharma. Every word can be analyzed very, very carefully. There is a most important thing is dharma. So I want to talk about dharma. Because the word dharma is not understood properly. And if anybody wants to understand dharma, actually they should read Mahabharata and Ramayana. Very wonderful ideas on dharma you will find in Mahabharata and Ramayana. At the moment I am doing Ramayana. In Ayodhya Kanda, how much of Stri Dharma, how much of Pitra Dharma, how much of Putra Dharma, what very interesting discussions we are doing. In Ramayana we are now, at the time we are discussing. Wonderful ideas are coming out of it. So what is this dharma? This is a very important question. Now there are different words used for dharma. There are so many words. I have taken this quote from Parashara Samhita. Okay, Parasara Samhita, Madhaviya Vritti, there is one shloka. I like that shloka, so I pulled it out. What is it saying? It is saying, Dharma Bahuvida Loke Shruti Beda Mukodbhavaha. So there are different ways to understand Dharma. The Shruti, in different ways it is telling Dharma. It is creating different things. See, Dharma is a Sukshma. It's not that easy. Dharma is a Sukshma. And it is very difficult to simply define it in one way. We will still get a little sense of it. So it says, Desha dharmascha drishyante, kula dharmas tataivacha, jati dharma vayo dharmaha, guna dharmascha shobhane, sharira kala dharmascha, apad dharmas tataivacha. There are about 8-9 dharmas that are being told. In addition to that, there are something called, samanya dharma, vishesha dharma. Okay, then there is something called apad dharma. There are so many dimensions to dharma. Desha dharma. Desha dharma is very different. If you are in, Badri, in Badri, you can, if you want to do puja to the god, you should dress completely with 4 layers of wool and pant and shirt and go. So it's a Desha dharma. Sitoshna conditions are different. Desha dharma is there is a Kala dharma. Because our Dharma Shastra is very realistic. It understood things will keep on moving. It's never static. That's why if you read the most recent Smriti which is very useful is Yajnavalkya Smriti. Manusmriti is very old. Then you have Parashara Smriti, you have Narada Smriti, Agastya Smriti. Yajnavalkya Smriti is very relevant for Kali Yuga. The 3 chapters in that, they are very relevant because it's also going through changes. Dharma Shastra also, so that is called Kala Dharma. So like that there are different Jati Dharma, first chapter itself is said. Jati Dharma and Kula Dharma, Shashvata, all that, Arjuna is saying. All these are there. So essentially, first understanding of Dharma, I will give a very simple understanding of Dharma. Suppose I never want to drive car in my lifetime at all. Never I am going to drive a car. Just imagine, I am now driving a car, but I am just telling you. Say I never want to drive a car in my lifetime. Okay? If I never want to drive a car, then I don't have to know any of the traffic rules. What green means, what red means, what amber means, I don't have to know. Why? What is the use? I have no use. On the other hand, the moment I decided to drive a car, there is a vidhi nisheda that will come in. There are do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts are required for vyavahara. Do's and don'ts are not required when you are in nivritti. When you are in pravritti, even modern organization says the same thing. Every organization, you can't, you one day cannot get into, by the way, you one day cannot get into any of software office. Don't even try. The only way is you have to bang the glass door and go. Because you need a token, you need a scanner, you need some swipe, all those. These are called vidhi and nisheda. See, you cannot do anything without do's and don'ts. The do's and don'ts are called dharma. Without that you cannot do. So all these if you see, desha dharma, you see vayo dharma. Vayo dharma means ashrama dharma. Which means when you are in grihastha ashrama, there are some do's and don'ts. When you are a brahmachari, there are some do's and don'ts. When you are in vanaprastha, there are some do's and don'ts. When you are in sannyasa, there are some do's and don'ts. So dharma is required. Dharma is the only way we will create some semblance of order. That is the first meaning of dharma. Dharma means that gives you a semblance of order. Otherwise it will be chaos. It will be complete chaos. That is what will happen without a proper understanding of do's and don'ts and rules. That is called dharma. There are many dimensions of dharma. We will continue this discussion tomorrow. It's already 8:13. I'll take 2-3 minutes. There is one question. I want to answer that question. Okay? I'll take 1 or 2 minutes to answer that question. We'll continue this dharma discussion tomorrow and move on with our other shlokas tomorrow. But there is one question here. Again, it's a very profound question. It will take a lot of time to answer this. The question is, yesterday you had nicely given an overview of Bhagavad Gita and Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. However, a basic question that needs to be answered is, what is yoga? Okay? From Lord Krishna's point of view. This was the question. This is again a very, very profound. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita itself, there are, in chapter 2 itself, there are 2 definitions of yoga that Krishna has given. He says, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. In 48th Sloka, he says, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. When you reach that state of equanimity, mental equipoise, if you can reach Samadukka Sukha Swastaha Samaloshtasma Kanchanaha Mana Papanayos Tulya Tulya Mitrari Paksha Sarvaramba Parityagi Gunatitaha Uchyate. 14th chapter, that's how he ends. He says, Matra Sparshast Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkataha Agamapaino Anityaha Tam Titiksha Swabharata. Life is a roller coaster ride. Sometimes good things will happen, sometimes bad things will happen. You cannot jump up and down every time. That Samatva is called Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. That is one definition. Yoga hai karmasu kaushalam. Your dexterity in action, when you know how to handle the world of karma, that is one definition of yoga. But in a very simple way, the word yoga has come from a Sanskrit root yuj. Yuj. Yuj means, there are 2-3 yuj there, but I will take. Those who is done engineering, or those who know, there is something called yoke. Y-O-K-E, yoke. When you connect 2 compartments, there is something like this. This is called yoke. They put a chain and then. So engineering concept yoke has come from yog. Yog means connection. Simple definition is, yog is to stay connected. Now the question is, stay connected with what? In the train, the stay connected is 2 chains are connected. That's why that is yoga. So yoga is that state that we have reached, in which we are in constant connection with the Lord. We are in constant connection with the Lord. That is yoga. Yoga is in sync, not out of sync. You are in sync with the Lord. In everything that you do, in your day-to-day life, doesn't matter at home, outside, here, there. Bhagavad Chintana, is it there all the time? Are you doing it as that Sharanagata Bhava and that Prasada Buddhi? That person has understood yoga. That is yoga. That has its own layers. Can you define it in different ways? The Moola Uddesha of being a yogi, Tasmad Yogi Bhava Arjuna. He says, in 6th chapter at the end, he says, Tasmad Yogi Bhava Arjuna. That's why you become a yogi. Means, be connected with me all the time. Be connected with the Lord. You are settled. So that is another meaning of yoga. There are so many meanings, but I just want to tell you, it is developed that with the blessings of the Lord, If the Lord has enabled us to be in His thought and be connected with Him in everything that we do, we have become a yogi. And that is the real yoga. I think with that we will say the Shanti Mantra and close for the day today. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.